This is Andy Tube. This is going to be part 10B. I thought it'd be making part 11, but this is going to be part 10B because I wanted to show you some rust removal techniques that I use after cleaning those small parts. I kind of mentioned that you can get flash rust. So I cleaned the rest of the small parts today, and I purposely didn't dry some of them and let them get some rust on here. Now the chrome and polished parts, it's very rare to see rust on those, but these parts that I just call bare metal, sounds kind of weird, but that's what I call them. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see the rust that's collected on these parts. Here's the needle bar bracket holder. You can see rust around on there. And this is the needle bar bracket holder. You see some rust on the back side of it there. And this is the pressure bar lifter bracket. And then this was one of the hinge studs that holds some of the thread take-up lever, and it's a little unusual on this, but I do have some spots of rust here, and I figure it must have gotten scratched from lack of oil or something. But anyway, the product that I use is made by Krud Kutter, the same company that makes the cleaner, and it's called the Must for Rust. And this 8-ounce bottle was, I think, $6 or $7 at a big box store. And you don't need a whole lot. Usually what I'll do is put a little bit in one of these little plastic laundry soap cups that I keep. You can see there's not about a half teaspoon or a teaspoon in there. And then I'll just take like a Q-tip for these, and I'll just rub some of that must for rust on there. Now if I had a whole bunch of parts or something that was really rusty, I would just soak them in this stuff because it's not very expensive. Let me, oops, I spilled some there. Let me soak that up and put some on this part. And sometimes the rust will, like this rust on this piece is just coming off right away. Sometimes you gotta soak it for a while. You notice I don't have gloves on or anything, but I have worn them in the past when I'm doing a lot of parts. Get that all cleaned out while I'm there. And it has kind of a musty smell, so if I was doing a whole bunch of it, and I definitely want to have a good ventilation and stuff like this. But for these little parts, I didn't put on the gloves or vent any special ventilation or anything like that. A fresh one here. This is the one that had the most rust on it. I don't know that much about different grades of steel and stuff, so to me the parts that seem to do this are the parts that I think have a little bit more iron in them. But if you pick up a used machine and it's rusty, I would degrease it first, and then you could paint this stuff on with an artist brush, or dab it on, or put parts that you remove. You could soak, in a cup full of it. I've used this for other rusty things around the house, and on my car, and it's worked very well. I hope I remember later to show you. I didn't take off the rubber feet on the bottom of the bed, and the screws under there can be pretty beat up, and I've had some that are very rusty, and I just take the screw off and the 4 of them and put them in a little container like that and cover and just let them sit there all day while I do something else, and man, do they come out nice. Okay, I think I got everything jazzed up with this now. Make sure I got inside of everything here. And I do also use this interdental. Buy the pack of about 5 or 10 of these at the dollar store. And if there is little places that I'm worried rust might have gotten into, I'll use that little interdental and go in a small space for that. I wanted to show you that. That's real good for holding enough of the thing and getting in these little tight little oil hole spots and things like that. Okay, then whatever's left I'll just pour back in my. This bottle is about a year old and it's about 1/3 full still. Then you can just wipe the parts dry. This product says that it'll prevent rust from reforming for up to a year on bare metal, and I used some of this on a bicycle for a grandkid, and I just put it on there and let it. I still got a little bit in here. I must have missed this spot. But I sanded it and got it all ready to paint blue for him, and there was some rusty spots, so I put this on just with like a paintbrush, small paintbrush, foam brush thing, and I just let it dry. It got all the rust, and then I put 2 coats of spray paint on it, and it worked great. So I have a friend who does this, and then he always washes the parts in alcohol, but I don't. So see if I can get you some shot. All that rust is gone now. Just takes it right off. Very good. Let's go this polished piece here. It had some rust on there, and that's all. That's gone. So it's as easy as that. Usually when I wash the small parts and the main body, usually as soon as I get it dry, I put oil on everything to prevent the rust. And I purposely didn't even dry these parts after I washed them. Just laid them on a towel and let them get some rust here. I'm just checking the inside there. Very nice. So I've never cleaned off the parts with alcohol. My friend thinks it's better, but I guess it's up to you. Just verifying that all the rust is gone. I was really happy to buy this product. I did you maybe see that show video series. So as I continue inspecting all these, I don't see any more rust. If I did, I would just put the stuff back on there again and clean off any more rust. I don't remove this product with alcohol like my friend, as I mentioned, but I do say after you clean these parts or the main body, all the metal like that, you should put a machine oil like a Singer sewing machine oil. I prefer to use this product, and a lot of people do. That's how I found out about it. It's called Tri-Flow Superior Lubricant with PTFE. That's a Teflon. And just shake it up nice and distribute that Teflon. And I'll put a few drops in a cup like this and I'll just go over all the small parts with just a real light coating of oil. So I just bought a set of these cheap artist brushes at Walmart. I don't know, there's like 25 for $3 or $4, different sizes. And the stiffer ones I use for grease, and the lighter ones like this I use for oil. And I just go and I'll just put a light coating of oil so this will not get the rust. So when I wash this, if I would have dried it with the hair dryer and then sat down and oiled these all up, it wouldn't have got any rust. But then I couldn't have showed you how good that rust remover is. So, and even on the shiny parts, everything I do, I just put a light coating of oil on, because you can wipe off the excess later when you go to reassemble everything. And I'll use that interdental to get inside of places, and then the little oil parts like that. Just to be sure, I got a light coating of oil just to protect it. That's all. Might use a Q-tip. Be sure I can get inside there. So I'm real happy with this must for rust. I never used any kind of a rust remover really, except maybe 50 years ago, some navel jelly stuff. And it's a great product. Water-based, biodegradable. Again, I think it's pretty earth friendly and stuff, so I'm happy with that. And that's how I would oil up to protect the small parts. And then when I do the whole machine and then wash it with the garden hose and blow it dry, I go over all the metal, not the aluminum body, but all the steel and parts like that, and just put a light coat of oil like that. Then I don't have any trouble with rust. So if you have any flash rust when you're cleaning, or any rust on the machine, I would definitely check that out. That's the only one I've ever used, so I don't know how it compares to others. But when I found it, I quit looking because I was happy enough with it. So we snuck part 10B in here on you, because if you clean the parts and then say, well, that idiot, now I got rust all over them, I'll publish these two parts together maybe, so that you don't curse at me too much. Thanks for watching AndyTube. Take care.